I've been a forum member for a while, and you've been an invaluable part of my growth and my heart opening and the development of self-acceptance and self-compassion. And for that, I am so grateful. However, I find lately that I've given you power and made you a source in my life, even though you repeatedly say and demonstrate that this is not what you want in any way. So I want to have that same deep trust in myself. How in the world do I do that? Offer? Do I offer? Wow, I love this letter. I love this letter because it's so candid. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this articulated because, yes, it's true. It is, every week I pray about this. Like, let this forum and all this work be a route for people to know their own inner value, worthiness, and beauty, and not have it be focused on me as the source of it. And I pray for that partly because I was in a group for 15 years where everybody projected that onto the teacher. And, believe me, with the teacher's great encouragement to live that way. And I know the utter madness that ensues from that. And you can come out 15 years later going, wow, I still don't know who I am. So I know, that when I finally left that group 20 years ago, that was a very deep longing to not only come to know that in myself, but help people get it on themselves, in themselves, without all of the insanity that goes on of projecting onto a teacher, a guru, a coach, a therapist, that, you are the light and I bask in your light and I'll only be okay if I'm in your light, and if I ever leave your light, I'll be in trouble. I mean, all of that was going on in the group I was in. And yeah, so on the other hand, I think what you're saying is very natural. It's very natural in a culture that is fixated on outer authority. So I wouldn't blame myself for it at all, or yourself for it in the least. I think it's a natural extension of a patriarchal culture. I think it's very much patriarchal thinking. The power's on the outside. The power's not on the inside. That's simply the way patriarchal thinking teaches. So what I would do, is be very, very kind to yourself about the topic. Like, yeah, look at how we all grew up. I mean, here I am teaching all this, and part of my own learning was to have to give my power away for a good many years until I woke up and thought, whoa, let me out of the insane asylum, please. But it took me a while. The training is very deep, and if you grew up in a family where there was an authoritarian figure like I had with my dad, a lot of these things, it's acculturated into you to give away that power. So I would say be very gentle with yourself. You didn't dream this up. It's how we're trained to think, and then, as you say, offer it back. Offer it back, and I think there's very specific prayers that you can say of reinstate me in my own power. Reinstate me in it. Wake me from this delusion that something on the outside has what I don't. And I often find this idea that, if you're drawn to something in somebody else, doesn't even matter who they are, whether it's a partner or whether it's a rock star or whether it's a teacher, that they embody a part of yourself that you're learning to access. I've always found a lot of comfort in that. And so that's one way to work with it is, you could apply it to me since you're saying that's what's going on, and just go, what is it? What is it that you're hearing on the calls, or what is it that this energy is holding that you are? Because you would not even be here with any interest if it wasn't also what you were. You know, I remember, I don't know if people have seen this, but there's this movie called Maiden, which is an amazing movie. It's about the first all-female sailing crew that went around the world. And I really recommend this movie. It's a documentary if you've ever seen it. And I remember being completely riveted when this movie came out. And what I realized is that the women who were these sailors, like they were embodying this divine warrior goddess energy on this boat that I was completely captivated by, because they were, you know, embodying it in this way that was so courageous and adventurous. And you hardly ever see depictions of women. More and more, hopefully it's happening, but you know, it's still rare to see women so brave and adventurous. And I could feel that what it was doing is it was activating the part of me that is that, but who has no desire to get on a sailboat and go around the world and, you know, almost die. So I think if you tap on the inside, who is this on the inside that's getting inspired, that's the real you. And then you get your own version of that. You own it, and then you can be here and be inspired or uplifted or whatever this does for you, amused, who knows, knowing that you're accessing, that its purpose is that you access inside of you your own authentic power, beauty, and worthiness connected to the inner divine. So thank you for sending that. I hope that helps. And you can even do a prayer, dear God, let me learn to trust myself, period. Period, the end. Let me learn to trust myself. There are a million messages in the world that teach people of any gender to distrust themselves. You get a first hit on somebody, and then the next thing you know, you're second-guessing it. Am I right? I better go ask 10 people. But your first instinct often was right. So just a prayer that says, let me trust what I know. Let me trust what I know. Thank you for that.